In Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial, lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's having a really good morning so far and a nice, easy drive into town for work. It's a beautiful day out here in the Cayman Islands. And in studio this morning, I am welcoming from Monster Media, the Managing Director, Kenny Rankin, and from the Agricultural Society, President Justin Woods. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to have you. Kenny, I'm used to you kind of being on the other end of radio from back in your radio days, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have you here in an interview, in a studio environment.
Yeah, I was just admiring all the technology that you have here. You know, YouTube,
Yes.
being live. It's technology has evolved and has
Absolutely.
helped a lot of people to see radio in a different light.
Absolutely.
Especially if you miss a show. I usually go back and if I miss a show, I usually go back on YouTube and replay and download and save it from our archives or just to hear what was happening. So yeah, cool.
Well, that's good to hear. Glad to hear that. It is a good thing, and we're having even more changes come about in Radio Cayman, so stay tuned for that.
Yes, yes.
But we are here to talk about the Roots Rock Reggae concert. It's supposed to be the concert of the year so far, Reggae
Yes,
concert of the year, and a little bit about the agricultural show as well. So give us a bit of a background. I think it's the third year that we're having a reggae show as part of the Agricultural Society's annual show, right?
Right. So in that, thank you so much for that. So this is our third year working with the society. The first year we did the Garth guy. Second year,
Garth
last
Brooks.
year, yeah, Garth Brooks. Well, it's Garth guy. Last year we brought in Third World, and this year we're bringing in Taurus Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Which the previous 2 years the event was after this the show, this Agricultural Society. This year we're going to be the Saturday before March 1st.
Okay.
And then the society is going to be on the 5th, the Wednesday, which is a public holiday, the 5th of March.
Right. Ash Wednesday, as we all know it as.
Yes.
All right. So what brought about this union to have a reggae show as part of the agriculture show?
Well, the ministry wanted to have entertainment, international entertainment, to promote culture, to promote the reggae. We talk about roots rock and reggae, so it's a mixture of local artists and international artists, and the different genres of music, and promoting culture, and again promoting the society, which is again before this year, before the Wednesday. So it's about unity, culture, and also raising funds and awareness for the society.
Yeah, the agriculture show has always aimed to highlight local talent, local crafts, local food. So why not also highlight our local musicians?
Yes.
So
Absolutely. And bringing it on a big international act as well.
absolutely.
So I think you guys have done pretty well with that. How has that made a difference in, I guess, the attendance and people being, I think you got to, be really living your head in the sand if you don't know about the agricultural show in the first place. But
Yeah.
how has that made a difference in the attendance and support?
The agricultural show is the largest event on the island, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
Now, previously the concert was after the show, so we couldn't say how it's going to affect the turnout, being that it's before the show. But we want to get everybody in a good mood before the show. Everybody will be coming out and enjoying themselves, having a very good time. If you've been to one of the concerts that Kenny has helped us put on, it's a totally different environment being out in Savannah versus going to a concert in town or West Bay Road. Everybody really enjoys it. The mood is great. The music is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I think everybody will come out and enjoy it and be prepared then to come to the show on Wednesday.
I feel you. I kind of like the idea that our big act will be on the Saturday before the agriculture
Yeah.
show. So was this strategic for you this year and having the concert before the show?
Yes, one would appreciate. A lot of people tend to travel, or they take their day off, so a lot of their time and their commitments are done during the Ash Wednesday. So we would want to bring that earlier and to promote the show you, if you haven't been out to the agricultural grounds, it's a really, really beautiful place. I mean, the animals, you see a different part of Cayman.
Yeah.
The night sky, there's not very much
Lot of
lights around.
yeah, the artificial lighting is
Yeah.
there. You can enjoy the stars. It's a beautiful sight.
It reminds me a lot of back in the day when my father used to take me
Yeah.
down in that area and enjoy, because he does a lot of farming as well. And it's something that you hardly ever see. I mean, most concerts are done in town. This is a very unique experience coming out of town, just driving in there, seeing it at night. And again, you can explore some of the grounds as
Yeah.
well. So local vendors there selling food, drinks. The top side there by the bandstand, that's there permanent, is a raised area for some of the elderly people that want to sit down and watch the event. There's a VIP area. So yeah, it's quite a bit of activities happening that night of the event, which is 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. And that's on March 1st.
All right. So how do we get tickets to the events?
We have ticket outlets, Funky Tangs. You also have eventpro.ky, so you could go online and you could buy it at the gate as well. Early bird tickets are now, I think some of the tickets are 80-90% done. So by next week, we'll be at regular pricing. So get the tickets now.
All right. So there you go. So get
Yeah,
the
don't
early
wait.
bird.
Yes. I would like to also say this year as well, and I think you did last year, you could purchase your tickets for the Horticultural Society, which is $25 to get in. You also are entered into, everyone that buys the tickets entered into
raffle,
a raffle.
An amazing.
Is that
raffle.
two, what,
This year we're gonna
$10,000
do
prizes?
Two $10,000 prizes. Typically we do one 20,000, but
Right.
we figured we'd split it up this year and give more people a chance of walking home with some money.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So double chance to win
Yeah.
right there.
And Kathy, I bought tickets for all my staff to go,
Okay.
and I put my name on all the raffle tickets.
Just your name?
That's his name. So he's buying the tickets, right? So he gets the winnings.
I feel you on that. Kenny, it's interesting because you do have a history with agriculture here, like via your dad, right? Your
Right.
family. So what is this, I guess, what does this kind of union mean to you personally, being able to have a show that does really support the Agricultural Society?
Well, it goes a little deeper too. I think about 5 years ago, I sold my mechanical bull to
the
society.
I didn't know you had a mechanic.
Yes, yeah. I used to ride horses and cows when I was young.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, I used to catch my dad's cows, tie them up to the fence, and then let them loose. But I would be riding them. So, true story. So my dad didn't want me to ride his cows, so he bought me a horse. And yeah, my dad's been agricultural farming for over 40 years. I mean, he's passed about 9 years now. So yeah, it's always good. It's a calm
Yeah.
feeling. We have a farm, Rankin's farm, goats, cows, pigs, sheep. We have a
run the
restaurant.
sheep farms, yeah.
Yeah, we have sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, it's quite a experience, and it's nostalgic coming back. And one has to appreciate the amount of work and time and the dedication that the society has. It's quite a lot of to do
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is
and
a
organize.
tremendous amount of work to put on the show the size of the agriculture.
Walk us through it, Justin. Let us know.
We actually start planning from shortly after one show finishes for the other one. There's so many aspects to put together. Getting farmers involved, getting displays done, having people to do judging, organizing security, organizing parking, getting the pastures cut for parking is just a tremendous amount of work. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of dedication from people who are volunteering doing this all for free in order to put on a show that highlights all the hard work that our farmers do. 'Cause that's what it's all about. And I really want to thank the public for the support over the years. I mean, year in and year out, we have 8,000 plus people there at the show, and that's a lot of support from our local community.
It is. It's amazing support, actually. And Radio Cayman's been a part of this for
Absolutely.
I don't know how many years,
Yeah.
but ever since at least I started working
Yeah.
here, which was November 2007.
And Cassie, also the Ministry of Planning, Mr. J, Honorable J.
Mhm.
Ebanks. I mean, he's adamant. He calls up. He says, "Well, I want to see this. I want to see that. Make it happen. If you need anything, let me know." And he was instrumental in making all this happen for me
Yeah,
and bringing us
absolutely.
together. And he has a drive, and you gotta love that about him.
Yeah.
He's always there. He answers your calls.
Yeah.
He's absolutely. I mean, for me to help in this society, this
Yeah.
is something that he was adamant about seeing.
He's been
So-
very supportive of farming.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
at least from what I
Um,
know over the past few years,
so
made some moves for farming.
Big shout out
for
to
sure.
Jay.
Absolutely, definitely. None of this would happen without the support that he has given to the society. So,
Yeah.
we really want to give him a very special thank you for all of his support and what he's done. And quite honestly, without him, we'd have had to gone back to our initial alternative, which was putting me on stage to sing and having a fruit stand at the back for people to buy fruit to throw at me to get into stock. So definitely want to thank you for putting this all together.
We're not going to waste the fruit like
No.
that. Come on.
Hey, it's a hell to clean up afterwards too, right?
Right, absolutely. Does your family, because I don't really know you at all. I know Kenny a little bit, but I don't know you. Does your family have a history in farming in Cayman as well?
Well, absolutely. I actually used to be in the society with Kenny's father back in the day. He and I were quite close. So I've been doing this for basically all my life, and it goes back many generations with my family, mostly with cattle, but some crops as well. So we've been in this for a very long time. It is a labor of love. The old saying is, it is the hardest job you'll ever love. And quite honestly, nobody gets rich in agriculture in Cayman. They do it because of the love, the tradition, and what it means to the country. Because we can't forget that food security is extremely important. You never know when the next crisis hits, and everybody's then looking for food.
Right.
You can't clear a field, plant seed, and expect to get crops the next day. So
Right.
if you want to have that little bit of security that at least you won't starve to death, we have to support our agriculture now in order to have that.
I agree with you so much there, because I know that when COVID did hit us and our borders closed and it was a lot harder and a lot more expensive to start
Yeah.
importing things to Cayman, I just sat there and thought, oh no, I now have to learn how to grow tomatoes and cucumbers.
That's it.
I haven't done that yet, but
Yeah.
the idea in my head, I was so scared in
Yeah.
that sense.
The world shut down. I mean, even though there was still stuff there, you couldn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking around the world, with the war in Russia and Ukraine, that put a real damper on agricultural production. That was a breadbasket of Europe. It also put a damper on getting fertilizers. Granted, we use very little fertilizer here comparatively, but for other countries that actually grow products that we in turn import, that was, fertilizer was hard to get, expensive, food prices went through the roof. So who knows what the next thing will be. And if we don't prepare now, we won't have any.
Agreed. So from that little era, which we're just kind of a little bit coming out of, how do you think Cayman learned from that? How did we pivot to embrace, okay, we got to do some changes here when it comes to our own food productivity, really?
Well, I think food security has definitely come to the forefront, and we've certainly seen, as we were talking about earlier, the minister has certainly taken it very seriously and has put a lot into agriculture and wants to see agriculture grow. The main hindrance here in Cayman to agricultural production is actually the cost of land, and we were working on a program to get government property to lease out to farmers, or new farmers, existing farmers, whatever the case may be, to increase agricultural production. And we worked on that, quite honestly, from when I was president many, many years ago, and it didn't come to fruition. Thankfully, though, since Minister Jay took over, it has, and it's just about where the properties now will start to be leased out to farmers. And that goes, there's so many different aspects of that helps the country as a whole. Not everybody's going to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Right.
You have a lot of youth that are interested, but like I said, the hindrance is there. They can't afford to buy the land.
Mhm.
We're going to be putting land into production. You're going to be getting people who would normally, I don't want to say everybody, but there'll be some of those people who would normally not be employed, who can actually have a business of their own by getting into agricultural production, because that hindrance of not having land will be removed. You're providing food, you're providing money staying in the economy because it's not going out to import that food. So there's just so many aspects that having increased agricultural production helps with for the entire country.
And to that point, Justin, I hear and see a lot of people more conscious of buying local
Absolutely.
produce. It's important. I know we sell as well. It's important for the restaurants, the supermarkets, and Mr. Hamlin there, the farmers market out by the cricket oval there. That's a big help too. Lots of support from the community.
Yeah.
So
It is.
all that helps.
It does. It matters. People want fresh produce, especially.
Well, that was
And
what
to
I'm gonna
support
get to
locally.
next.
Yes.
The other thing is that you're getting a much higher quality produce.
Yeah.
And you think about what gets imported here. even the stuff that's flown in. If you think about the process from large farms where it's picked one day, it's collected, then it has to be transported to a distribution center, it has to be washed, it has to be packed, then it has to go to a wholesaler, get on a truck to get that shipped. By the time we get it here, it's days to weeks old.
You're right.
You're getting stuff fresh here locally, picked the day, maybe 2 days before. So the nutrient content is definitely higher. So, you know, once again, it's a benefit to you, it's a benefit to the farmer, and it's a benefit to the country because you're keeping that money here locally.
Agreed. Trust me, when I shop at Kirk Supermarket, and I always get the local eggs. That is, and it's gone all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't there yesterday. I'm like, who's buying all the local eggs? But to me, it really shows that the local produce, local foods are supported here.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the resources or the ability, also just taking your family and kids to see the cows, see the chickens. I mean, you got some nice chickens up in society. Some big chickens too.
Yeah,
that's how it
there's
is.
people that
Some huge
raise
chickens.
the fancy chickens.
Yes.
There's all sorts of breeds. It's amazing to see some of them, and it's a big draw, especially for the children, to see the different varieties of chicken.
I didn't even, when you said fancy chickens, I'm like,
Listen, some of these chickens are really fancy.
wow, okay.
And some of them are huge.
Huge. They look like geese.
Yeah.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, but the rabbits, you got rabbits.
We got rabbits, goats,
Yeah.
pigs. Sometimes we have other
Guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Guinea pigs. Yeah.
Sometimes we have other birds as well. Some people sometimes will bring in just for display. We'll have lovebirds, and the list goes on and on. If you think about it, more than likely you'll find it there at the show.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts actually, is being able to go. It's a bit of a petting zoo kind of area, right? And I love animals.
We try to set up a petting zoo. Not every year we're able to do that, but we try every year to set up a petting zoo.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see the looks on the children's faces. And quite honestly, that got a lot of youth into agriculture. Because they come there, they get that excitement, they get that taste for agriculture and taking care of something else, another living thing, whether that's a plant or an animal. You know, it is something that sticks with children.
Mm-hmm.
And the food. Let's talk about the food too.
Well, let's get to that in a second. We got to go to our first commercial break, and then we'll return and just continue the conversation.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas. In his letter to the micro-trustees in May of 1839, Mr. Malcolm, who set up the first school in Bontown but received opposition for teaching white and non-whites together, wrote, "The white population have a most inveterate hatred against the blacks, and they have told me that I must erect 2 galleries, one for white and the other for the black children, that I must make a distinction in my school, but I have invariably told them I would not. I have told my children that I would make no distinction between black and white, and that a good boy is a good boy whether he is black or white, and that I would respect him because he was a good boy, and not because he was a white boy." Mr. Malcolm was described by the black and brown population as a good and great man who not only taught their children, but attended to the sick and, in the absence of an ordained minister, preached twice each Sunday. Information from this historical vignette was sourced from Founded Upon the Seas, A History of the Cayman Islands and Their People by Michael Creighton and the New History Committee.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future,
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance,
or protecting your family's household investment.
from our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise
at Cayman Insurance Center. Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The 2025 National Heroes Day Awards takes place on Monday, January 27th at 9 a.m. in the historic Heroes Square. Celebrate the icons of business and entrepreneurship within the Cayman Islands and honor our past nation builders. Wear your ceremonial best and come out to Heroes Square on Monday, January 27th at 9 a.m.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me I have Mr. Kenny Rankin, Managing Director of Monster Media and the promoter for Roots Rock Reggae Concert, which is happening on Saturday, March 1st at the Agriculture Grounds. And joining in studio as well is Justin Woods, President of the Agricultural Society. We are talking a little bit about the concert, a little bit about the agriculture show, and I think right before we went to break, we were getting into the food that everybody looks forward to when they're going to the agriculture show. Kenny just said he gets at least 4 plates. It takes some days to
I think
finish.
for a lot of people, the food is the highlight of the day.
Yeah.
I've actually witnessed people come in, they buy a ticket, go to the food stand, get their food, sit down and eat, and like Kenny, they're carrying more with them, and they leave with bags and bags of food because everybody loves the local food.
Some of it tastes better. The
Couple
marinades
days
in the
later,
fridge,
yeah.
good marinades, yeah. So
It's true, yeah.
it's good. And again, you're supporting the society.
Absolutely.
You have a chance to win 2 prizes, 2 $10,000 prizes. I could do with that, Justin, right now.
Yeah.
We already know you got your tickets for staff and all the rest.
And again, it's a chance, to be honest with you, too, for you to see people that you normally wouldn't see, that you haven't seen in a while. So
yeah,
Definitely.
It's definitely a meeting place, especially for locals. Some of us, we're so busy that we don't even see our families anymore. So it really is a day when people come out, relax, enjoy themselves, and get to talk and greet people that you haven't seen for probably sometimes months.
It really is a true Caymanian experience.
It is.
That's my take of it.
It's ingrained in our cultures. This is 56 years now, so it's for something to last that long, it's got to be good.
I would like to also say promote, if there's small Cayman businesses out there. I think we did a little stall last year promoting the carnival and what we're doing, and we were doing, I think, cotton candy for like $2.
Yeah.
I think we sold like 500 pieces of cotton candy.
Wow.
Yeah.
People's hands were numb. Listen, if you have 8,000, 10,000 people coming through, and you're a small business, it's just a matter of numbers. And I see people travel all around. I saw a lot of cool, I got some ideas too, some cool small micro businesses there, and they were just
Absolutely.
busy.
Yeah,
All,
Excellent.
right through the whole day.
If you think about it, 8,000 people come through the gate. If you can get even 10% of that for your small
800.
business,
Right.
that is massive for the day.
Can people still sign up to have booths?
There are still booths available,
Okay.
but trust me, they go quickly. So
What's the process of signing up and getting a booth?
you go to the Agricultural Society, you speak to either Juliet or Joan Lee that's there, you pay your fee for the booth, and you can select your booth of what's available.
Okay.
Obviously, you can't get one somebody else has already gotten, right? So if you want to go pick your booth, go do it early. Get what you want that's left available, because they do go fast.
Right.
So we always encourage people to go get their booth early and secure your spot. Get your planning done, know how you're going to set your stuff up, and just have a good day.
Can you give us a run of show how the day is going to go for Wednesday, March 5th, Ash Wednesday, during the agriculture show?
I can give you a broad outline. We're still working on some details, so we always have our gates open early, so the early birds can get in, because some people like to come early, get a good parking spot close to the gate, get inside, take a look around. We have our official opening usually around 9. That will depend on the governor's availability and stuff like that. So, but usually around 9. Then we'll have our official ceremonies and do our official tours and declare the show officially open, and everybody has a good time.
Okay, excellent. And get there early.
Yeah.
As you said,
Get there
especially if
early.
you're looking to buy certain things and
Yeah.
the plants and stuff.
If you want
get
plants,
there
get
early.
there early.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want the best of the heavy cakes, get there early.
Oh, okay. Good point
Yeah.
as well.
And again, I want to reiterate it to the young Caymanian or older Caymanian entrepreneurs. I just remember me growing up, and you got to do so much to promote your business. That's why we're here again too.
Right.
But you're right at the mouth of where all these people are coming, and I want to say that because I remember going to the Business Expo in Lion Center when I did computers, and you try to strive to
Get
bring new
noticed.
clients in,
Yeah.
and get noticed.
Mhm.
And here, the society is doing majority of the work for you,
Mhm.
and there's
Yeah.
so much to do.
Yeah,
It's good
as
for
a-
you.
That's
As
a good
a
point.
new entrepreneur, if you want to get noticed, the show is where to do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get more people coming to one event in order to see your business. So if you want to get noticed, get your name out there, definitely you want to get a stall.
I like your entrepreneurial spirit. You've always had this, Kenny. So it's
Yeah.
good that you're about it, and you see the little outlets of new things that could happen.
Yeah.
And you try to encourage other people to do the same.
I'm
It's
I'm
inspirational.
signed. You know, I just talked myself into signing up my booth for
I
the Capella
know.
Music Festival because I
There
can
you
get
go.
there and promote Capella,
absolutely.
sell tickets, and I'm
Absolutely.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
That's a great
advantage.
idea.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Hopefully you
have
have
to
it
have
in.
Yes.
Get your booth now, though.
Yeah. Well,
you
that's,
just never know.
I'll be calling Miss Brooks in a bit.
So we know Taurus Riley is going to be the big headline act on
Yes.
Saturday, March 1st, right?
Yes.
So how did you make that relationship happen? How did you get him to come for this show?
Well, it's funny, right? Because we're torn between that because we've been trying to get Taurus for 2 years, and some of these band members don't tour. At certain times or they're busy,
Mm-hmm.
and we really wanted him for Capella,
Mm-hmm.
and we were looking at the dates and we weren't sure about the dates, and the minister called and says, well, this is what we be looking at this year, can you make it happen? And it so happened it worked out. So he's coming with full band. It's 16 17 people coming. Cayman Airways is a sponsor, again the Ministry of Planning, and I gotta say his team is very stoked, and they're like, anything you need, let us know. So it's going to be a really good show. We did surveys for the last 3 or 4 years, and he and his band has been the top 3 pick that people want to see. It's going to be a
Nice.
really good show.
Okay, nice.
Hopscotch Studios, the Cultural Society, Under the Stars, up in Savannah. Is that what you call it, Savannah, right?
Yes. in
Yeah, Savannah area.
Yeah.
I loved Third World last year.
absolutely.
I mean, it's like I've never been to something like this because it's out of you don't have no city lights. It's in the country, and but the problem is, Justin, I got to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't have.
But Sunday's the
Yeah,
next day, so you can
there
chill
is
for a little bit.
Some benefits you get to you go on stage and check it out, but then just seeing people's faces and people are happy. People, some elderly people come. There's seating there. There's quite a bit of food vendors there too. So yeah, it's a really nice atmosphere, and it's something to see and enjoy. So if you haven't been out there before, take the time, go online, eventpro.ky, buy tickets. You're supporting the Agricultural Society, and hope to see you there.
Awesome.
See, it goes back to the old saying that not every disappointment is a misfortune. He wasn't able to get him before, but we got him for the agricultural concert. So
Yes,
we're good.
yes.
So it all ties in. You still got him. And he's a great performer. I've seen him
Very,
quite a few
very.
times, and with a full band,
Yes.
the best thing you could ask for.
My friend there, that passed, Byron Lee, God bless his soul. I actually started out in Cayman with him about 25 years ago, and Byron would say, you know, if there's two lines. One, if you enjoy yourself, you're good. There's another line, if you don't enjoy yourself, we'll give you back your money. I was like, Byron, I never seen you give anyone back their money if they didn't enjoy themselves. How does that work? He said, exactly.
Yes.
So, same thing here, Kathy.
You're pretty much guaranteed a good time.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us this morning.
Thanks
And
for
we're
having
going to go to
me.
the 8 a.m. news. And again, the Agriculture Show is Wednesday, March 5th, Ash Wednesday. And the Taurus Riley Roots Rock Reggae Concert is going to be Saturday, March 1st.
And like, if I could say real quick, thank you,
Go for it.
you Radio
No
Cayman.
props.
You came in with a sponsorship, and it's a pleasure working with you, Justin, and your team. And I really want to say thank you to Honorable Minister J.E. Banks and the Ministry of Planning.
Awesome. Any other sponsors you want to thank? I forgot to ask that.
Cayman Airways is another big sponsor. Coca-Cola and
for
Digicel.
For the show itself, you know, we always get sponsorship from Radio Cayman, so definitely want to thank you. One of our other big sponsors has always been A.L. Thompson's, Pepsi. There's so many of them, but those are our sponsors that have year in and year out been there for us and helped us out. And definitely, we once again want to thank the Minister and Ministry of Agriculture for providing so much support for the show and for the concert. And we want to thank the Caymanian people for coming out and supporting us.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
And let's say, expats, residents, tourists. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's for
everyone's
everybody.
welcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's for everybody. Absolutely. Families, all ages. It's for everybody.
Only thing that not welcome is bugs and mosquitoes, and we don't have much of them.
Yeah,
Hopefully
that's
not.
True
it's the
story.
perfect time of year.
Hopefully not.
Time of year.
So eventpro.ky for your tickets, and we're going to go to the 8 a.m. news.
Thank you.
Why is your drink so green? Is this some New Year trend?
Being healthy isn't a trend, it's a lifestyle, and I'm trying to do better, to be better.
Be better? Well, what's wrong with regular soda?
In moderation, nothing. But it's nice to have something nourishing.
Wow, you took New Year, New Me to heart.
You gotta when you're hoping to live well with Foster's and CG Britke. It's a great free resource for healthy tips to help you achieve your wellness goals.
How do I start?
Check out livewell.fosters.ky and live well with Foster's and CG Britke.
Studio time now by Foster's is a minute after 8.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Shining in the sunlight. Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With a look at your latest news, I'm Jevi Ebanks. On Thursday, the 16th of January, Customs and Border Control officers arrested a Cayman Islands resident upon his arrival at the Charles Kirkconnell International Airport. The arrest followed a baggage examination conducted by CBC officers utilizing the CBC X-ray equipment. The matter is being formally investigated and no other details are available at this time. One ballot, 4 issues.
Obviously, one of the big things on the agenda in the sitting of the House is the referendum bill upon which the country should be able to get the opportunity to vote on 3 questions. And this part is just a formality of the referendum, but a very essential formality.
Speaking on Radio Cayman's For the Record, Deputy Premier the Honorable Kenneth Bryan told listeners that the last meeting of Parliament before the 2025 general elections in April is coming up at the end of this month. That means it's the last opportunity to formally legalize a referendum being proposed by the minority government that will put 3 questions to local voters if the referendum bill is passed by MPs in the House.
As per this bill right now, which is out for public consultation, by the way, so the public have access to it. If you want to go down to the Parliament or to go onto the Parliament website, they have been gazetted and you can read it for yourself. The 3 questions is 1, should the Cayman Islands develop cruise berthing infrastructure? Question number 2, do you support the introduction of a national lottery in the Cayman Islands? And question number 3, do you support the decriminalization of the consumption and possession of small amounts of cannabis?
Mr. Bryan says if the bill is passed in Parliament as is, there will be 1 ballot, meaning you will vote for your elected member. Then below on that same ballot, The 3 questions will be listed, one after the other.
In the draft bill, you can see the list of the questions, and it's pretty straightforward. It's just ask the question. There's 2 lines below. They ask the question, and yes or no, and you tick yes or no. And you don't have to be in support of any of these. The purpose of this is to get the public's feedback on these topics.
The referendum bill is one of many that could be debated in the House when it meets on the 31st of January, including amendments to the National Conservation Act and the Anti-Sexual Harassment Bill. The final agenda will be approved by the Business Committee. In addition to several projects that require discussions with developers, there are other proposed projects of note on tomorrow's bi-monthly meeting of the Central Planning Authority. Radio Cayman's Carsley Fuller has more.
There's a $2.4 million 10-unit apartment complex with pool being pitched on Rocky Pond Drive in West Bay. No objections there, and the CPA will consider suitability and setbacks. The Ministry of Education has brought an application for an addition at Lighthouse School in Prospect on land that contains seasonally flooded mangrove forests. In its letter to the board, the MOE says this expansion will provide, quote, much-needed additional education space for the school, which is now at the limits of its resources. Teaching spaces, therapy spaces, as well as a gym and an indoor hydrotherapy pool form the basis of the expansion, together with a new external play area and courts. A covered garden is also included in the design team's proposal. There's also an application for a civic center on Northward Road in Northward. This property is currently vacant. The proposal is to construct a new civic center with 50 parking spaces. The board will consider the project's suitability for the area. Cayman Shores Development is pitching a new 5-story mixed-use building with a pool on Solaris Avenue in Camana Bay. This will include 45 square feet devoted to food and beverage, 11,000 square feet for retail uses, 25,000 for office use, and 75 residential units. There's also an application for a 6-lot subdivision on Rum Point Drive in Northside. With regards to this project, the Department of Environment has advised that the main environmental consideration is the potential loss of important, quote, primary mangrove habitat. It's also recommended at tomorrow's meeting that the CPA grant conditional approval for the Public Works Department's application for a new washroom at the public dock and boat launch in South Sound. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Carsley Fuller.
You can find the full agenda for tomorrow's public meeting online at planning.ky. That is your latest news. I'm Jevi Ebanks. Now to the BBC for headlines around the world.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. Donald Trump's announcements on taking office that he'll withdraw from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement have sparked international concern. The WHO urged Mr. Trump to rethink his decision to leave. China has installed a record amount of renewable energy last year. The announcement came just after President Trump promised to increase drilling for fossil fuels in the United States. Turkish authorities say a fire at a hotel in a ski resort has killed more than 60 people. The flames engulfed an 11-story building at the Kartalkaya ski resort in northwestern Bolu area. Israel's far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich has thanked President Trump for lifting sanctions against violent settlers in the occupied West Bank. He said the move shows his deep connection to the Jewish people. The Israeli military has launched what they've described as a counter-terrorism operation in the West Bank. 4 Palestinians were killed and more than 30 injured during a raid in the city of Jenin. As the Gaza ceasefire continues to hold for a 3rd day, the UN says aid convoys have been free of looters. The UN says with hundreds of trucks entering Gaza, supplies were no longer worth as much to criminal gangs. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
I work hard each day. I'm a mother, sister-in, daughter, wife, cook, and everything in between. I know that no matter what, I have to be the woman I need to be. And that's why I choose Curves for that time of the month. When the pressure is on, I know I can rely on Curves sanitary napkins to keep me dry and comfortable all day and night. Affordable and available in cotton or silk. With Curves, I can be the woman I need to be all the time.
Strong, resilient, beautiful. Be the woman. Curves.
You're invited to join the March for Jesus in Cayman Brac on Saturday, the 25th of January, starting at 4 p.m. at the Port Authority and then going down to Watering Place Gardens, followed by the Praise and Worship Concert at the same venue starting at 6 p.m. Together, let's march for Jesus. For more info, visit www.christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus tab. Jesus is our only hope.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 81 degrees. Relative humidity is 84%. The barometric pressure 30.05 inches and rising. The wind is east-northeast at 8 knots. Overnight low was 79. Synopsis indicate light to moderate winds and seas expected to prevail across the Cayman area through this afternoon as a frontal boundary remains stationary across the Yucatan Channel. A decrease in winds are expected as the front weakens and dissipates, slackening the pressure gradient. Radar images show widely scattered showers mainly west of Grand Cayman, drifting towards the west. Now the forecast for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers this morning, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast 10 to 15 knots, decreasing and becoming 5 to 10 knots by late this afternoon. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, mainly fair skies with a 20% chance of late-night showers and temperatures falling to the mid to upper 70s. Tonight, your winds will be east to northeast 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet as well. Low tide will be this morning at 3 minutes past 10. High tide will be this afternoon at 2:35, and a low tide again tonight at 9:47. The sun will set this evening at 11 minutes past 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 2 minutes after 7. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
Super Jam.
Also brought to you by
Cayman Airways. Call them at 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
Superior Auto Center. Do it right the first time with Superior Auto.
949-9570
or 525-9571.
Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune.
And Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's take a look again. This time at what's happening on the roads. There was a traffic incident that occurred earlier in the vicinity of the Smith Road traffic lights, but that looks like it's pretty much cleared out and traffic is proceeding as normal. Different story on the Linford Pearson Highway as traffic is heavy. Expect some delays this morning. Slow moving traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Eastbound traffic on Cool Road is moving on moderately, as well as on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing at a good pace. Edward Street, traffic is moving on pretty good. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive. And steady but flowing traffic coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway and continuing on to North Sound Road. Moderate flow of traffic heading towards the Industrial Park area. Coming off of Agnes Way, steady traffic. And that's what's happening on your roads. Also, just be aware of some cruise ships in town this morning. So as you maneuver the waterfront in Georgetown. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. I hope everybody's having a good, safe, beautiful drive into work today, into town today. On this segment of the Business Buzz from the Cayman Hearing Center, I am welcoming Dr. Annette Stevenson. She is a Caymanian Doctor of Audiology and is a graduate of Nova Southeastern University. She established Cayman Hearing Center back in 2007 to fill a much-needed area that was lacking by providing a complete hearing healthcare service to these islands. Good morning, Dr. Annette. How are you?
Good morning, Kathy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you.
Yeah.
It's so funny because before we started the segment, we were talking about how I started here in November 2007, and you were amongst my first clients, basically, when it came to sales.
Yes.
So lovely to see that you're still going strong.
I'm still here.
Yep, that you're still going strong and you're doing your thing. And if I remember correctly, at that time, you were Cayman's first Caymanian audiologist.
Yes. I was the first Caymanian doctor of audiology, and I don't know if there are any other Caymanian audiologists. If they are, they're not on the island. And if they're not on the island, they're not working in the industry. So I don't know if I can still say, maybe I can still say that I'm the only Caymanian doctor of audiology. If I'm wrong, please correct me, somebody. But as far as I know, I'm still the only.
That's
Caymanian.
pretty impressive, though.
Yeah.
And if you are the only one, I'm kind of like, what? So nobody else is studying this field.
No.
What made you go into audiology?
Oh, that's a good question. So I actually wanted to be a teacher of the deaf. So my story looks like I was in Girl Guides, and I needed to get the sign language badge. Where we used to get the badges, right? Mm-hmm. And so I became fascinated with sign language. And when I was like 10, 11, I knew that I wanted to do something with sign language. And then obviously that was working with the hearing impaired. And I thought I wanted to be a teacher. So when I went off to school, I was actually in the education program. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to do that.
What was the turnoff?
Yeah, I didn't want to be a teacher.
All right.
It wasn't like, it didn't bring me joy.
Okay.
Like I didn't feel like I would be helping, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I know I would be, but for me, it didn't feel like that was my purpose.
Things that bring you joy is very important.
Very, very important. And obviously I stumbled upon audiology because I was in the deaf education program, right?
Okay.
And I just did some research and I decided that audiology was what I wanted to do, and I made the switch and never looked back.
Did you at all look at the Cayman market and say, okay, this is something that I
No.
could work in Cayman?
No.
No, it was just
No.
this is what I like. And
I mean, honestly, if you'd asked me back then, would I be back home running my clinic, I would have told you, no way. Cayman doesn't have the need. There's nothing for me to come home to because there's no place for me to work.
not even at HSA at the time. I don't even. The Health City wasn't around then.
No,
for
Health City
sure.
wasn't around then.
Chrissy Tomlinson and HSA basically.
I don't.
Was, the
I
two.
can't remember if Christy Tomlinson was Christy Tomlinson or if he was just still like in that little.
I think it was Chrissy
plaza.
Tomlinson now.
I-
Wait, it was the
Yeah, I mean,
Chrissy
like the
Tomlinson
hospital. Like I
was
don't
there.
remember if he had if the hospital. I don't remember when the hospital was established. But anyway,
Yeah.
no, I'm choosing my words wisely. But I was discouraged from studying audiology by individuals in our.
I don't think you need to be careful saying that.
Okay.
I think you be real to your story because
Yeah.
that's a very real thing that happens.
It is, and so I applied for a government scholarship to study audiology after I completed my undergrad degree, and I was told that there were no hearing impaired people on the island, and that. Yeah, so it's out there now. Yeah, so I was told that there were no hearing impaired people on the island by the Department of Education when I applied for the education scholarship, and that the university was not a reputable university, and that I should find a different university, and I should study Masters of Speech. I don't think they were quite prepared for what I did at that time, but I took the letter to the president of Nova Southeastern University, and he replied in kind, and I basically told them, I said, well, if an individual can't hear, how can speech therapy help them? And it was just sheer determination and the grace of God that provided my father with the knowledge and the skills for his career and his business that he was able to put me through school.
Oh, so you didn't get the scholarship?
I did not get the scholarship.
Wow.
No. And so it was my dad that put me through school. And so I will for always and ever be Dr. Stevenson. Even if I get married, I will always be Dr. Stevenson as a homage to my dad for him putting me through school. Because if it wasn't for him, I would not be sitting here. Because as a non-U.S. citizen, I couldn't get financial aid.
Right.
So it was only because of my dad and I think just stubbornness. And then I came back home. I would think I was like on a holiday or something, and I decided to go and have an interview at HSA. And I was told, we don't need an audiologist. We don't need anybody doing what you do here.
Because there's no hearing impaired
there's
people?
no need for an audiologist.
Or okay.
Right?
At least they didn't say there's no hearing impaired people. Okay.
And that is the catalyst for Cayman Hearing Center. I went home. I was obviously upset because I think at this point in my career, well, I had just graduated with my doctorate, and I think at this point I realized that we didn't have it wasn't here in Cayman.
Right.
And I was like, well, I need to come back home and I need to provide this. And part of it too was my grandfather was profoundly deaf, and as he got on in life, his hearing got worse, and that when he passed away, he was just like a shell in the corner because he could not hear, and that was also sort of like a catalyst for me to bring it to Cayman.
Right.
And so after this encounter at HSA, and my dad was like, well, let's just open up your own thing.
Do you know if HSA had somebody that was working in audiology at the time at all?
They have
back then
a technician.
Okay.
They do not have an audiologist.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
This
Can you tell us what the big difference between the technician would be and being a doctor of audiology?
So the individual who's doing it, she's an amazing person, and she's doing the best that she can, but she does not have the formal training and education to do what I do.
Okay.
Again, I'm trying to be very careful.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And she's just
like, I can't go diagnose people with things.
Right.
I'm not a doctor.
And when I came back home, I'll never forget, she said to me, why am I still seeing these patients when you're here? Because I really don't know what to do.
So Cayman definitely needed an audiologist.
Baby needed an audiologist. And
so your dad said, let's open up.
Let's open up.
Your dad was great.
He is great. And we opened up, and I was actually, like your previous guest, I was actually in Rankin's Plaza. That's where I first started, was in Rankin's Plaza.
Okay.
And I was visiting. I was working full time in Florida. I would fly home once a month and see patients over the weekend, fly back to my job in Florida. And I did that for 4 years.
Okay, so you did, after you graduated and you kind of came back to, you came back to Cayman, you couldn't really find anything, you moved back to Florida?
I was still living in
Florida.
Florida. So I was just home on a holiday, and I had this interview, right? And I was still working in Florida, and so we were like, all right, the best way to do this is for me to build it up. And so I was just flying home once a month. My aunt was telling me the other day, because like technology has advanced so much, but like back in the day I had like a big black appointment book and a little Nokia phone, and I would pass it around to family members to make the appointments for me while I was in Florida, because like we didn't have WhatsApp or things like that back then, right? And so that's how we managed. And yeah, so I was coming home once, sometimes twice a month for 4 years while I built the business, and we got to the point where I had to make the decision whether I closed the clinic or I quit my job in Florida and moved back home. And I decided to quit my job and move back home, and that was in 2011.
Wow.
So we've been I've been full time since 2011.
So about 4 years after you opened Cayman Hearing Center.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you were only coming down here a couple times a month.
Yep.
So at least you were building your knowledge and practical experience in Florida.
Yeah.
And you were able to just transition, pivot, come down here and say, boom, I'm going to do this full time in Cayman.
Yeah. And, making the contacts and having, because I knew I was coming to a place where I had no other audiologists. And so I was like, well, I need to have my people that if I run into a problematic situation, I can pick up the phone and I can be like, hey, listen, I have this patient. I need a second set of eyes on it or something like that. So, yeah.
Okay. So what were the main prompts for you to make that transition to Cayman full time?
The demand was just getting too much that I could no longer sustain it being here 1 or 2 days a month. As word got out and as physicians realized that there was an audiologist on the island doing all things of audiology, the demand just grew, and I couldn't keep doing it. And then, when Cayman Airways staff in Miami actually when the TSA agent in Miami knows you, you're traveling a little too much.
Yes.
Yeah, and Cayman Airways knew that if they saw my name on the flight manifest, they knew that I was going to be late all the time.
Oh.
So yeah, so I had a reputation. So I was like, yeah, I'm flying a little too much.
I understand that. Okay. The TSA agent is hilarious, actually,
Yeah,
because they're not always the friendliest. So if they know you, then
they know me.
You struck a good relationship.
So that was fun. Yeah.
That's incredible. It's incredible at first that you were told Cayman doesn't need an audiologist. Don't study this. That's not a reputable university.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of doors closed on you.
Yeah, I did.
And you continued to persevere.
I sure did.
And that's pretty amazing.
I'm just
Are you a Taurus?
I'm Scorpio.
Okay, I love Scorpios. All right, okay. I feel like we're like we balance each other a little bit here and there. Okay, I like that. I'm a Taurus, and when you say stubborn, so that's why I ask. So it's pretty amazing that you did have that resilience and perseverance just to keep going. That's a big mindset thing,
Very
especially at a young age, coming out of university, just graduating.
And it's I know we're here to talk about Cayman Hearing Center, but it's been a battle. It's been a fight that you would have thought that a local girl coming back home, bringing a new industry to the island, it would have been well received. But I fought very many battles. I had a lot of, it was...
And even opening the business?
Even
getting
opening
the
the
license?
business, getting the license, there were providers who were trying to get my license pulled, making false claims, false accusations against me.
No way.
And it wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy. And there were so many times I just wanted to give up. But then...
But how are you a threat for that if there's no other audiologist, how are you a threat? Because I understand if there's threats and people are feared, you'll take my business, but not in helping support something.
It was because there is an audiologist who's knowledgeable in the field of audiology and who's now speaking facts to their patients and telling, almost contradicting what some of the physicians were telling the patients because they didn't know really. And then the patients come to me and I say, well, actually it's this. And the patients are like, oh, okay. So it was sort of, it was a power play.
Yeah,
it was very much a power play. And I don't think that they were prepared for me to be like, well, you come at me with anything that you got and I can come right back at you.
Right. Way to go.
Because nobody's going to push me out of Cayman.
As they shouldn't.
They can try.
I mean, people
and
try.
They've tried. They
Yeah.
have tried, but they haven't succeeded. And they keep trying. They still keep trying.
No
They
way.
still keep trying. And I'm like, what do they say? Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
I try to remind myself of that, but sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I'm just take it as a compliment, Kathy, and I'm like, ooh. Sometimes it can be hard, especially when you feel like somebody's really trying to bring you down.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's
that's
it
a
has
really big
been
lesson, right?
A trial, and I just and so to all of the young Caymanians out there, I'm like, just keep going. Like if doors keep shutting in your face, maybe you just need to build your own door.
Absolutely,
like I did,
You
and
did.
just keep on going, and just don't pay any attention to them. I like to remind myself, like Usain Bolt, when he's running, he's not looking behind him to see who's coming. He's just looking at that goal and to see how fast he can cross that finish line. So I'm like Usain Bolt. I'm not paying attention to who's behind me. I'm just looking at the direction that I'm taking Cayman Hearing Center.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. We're going to go to that's an amazing story first. Thank you for sharing that background. I'm glad we painted that picture. We're going to go to our first commercial break.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Experience the soulful fusion of reggae and jazz with Benil Miller and his reggae orchestra at the 2025 Cayman Arts Festival. The multi-talented singer, songwriter and instrumentalist known for his unique blend of roots reggae, modern Caribbean and jazz. Saturday, February 15th at 7 p.m. at the Harkfield Theatre. Tickets are just $40 for adults and $15 for students. Call 922-5550 or email inquiries at CaymanArtsFestival.com for more details.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in this segment of the show, we are talking to Dr. Annette Stevenson of Cayman Hearing Center. She's a Caymanian doctor of audiology, and man, I really hope you caught those first 15 minutes when she was giving the background, because it's pretty amazing. And even what we just said in the break right now, you know what, that was break information, but I'm just blown away by a couple of things that Dr. Annette shared, and I'm also super impressed by your resilience, as I said before the break. Yeah. I love it. I think it's so important, and you saying to people out there, if you're a young Caymanian and you feel like those doors are closing, to just build your own door, make your own door, and walk through it.
And if anybody wants help on how to build a door, they can reach out to me, because I would be happy to mentor a young Caymanian on how to build their own door.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm just happy we're having this conversation this morning. Now, when you said a little earlier there wasn't anybody doing all things audiology, yes. What does all things audiology encompass?
Right. So audiology, a lot of people, when you say audiology, the first question they say, what's that? And I say, well, I'm a hearing doctor. Then the assumption is either I only work with children or I only work with the old people that can't hear.
Okay.
But audiology covers many, 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 many facets. So yes, we see children and we do newborn hearing tests and we do pediatric evaluations, for kids that have like speech delay or ear infections. And then we also do things called auditory processing disorder. We also have your balance, because people don't realize that your balance system is in your hearing organ. So the cochlea, it looks like a little snail. It is the hearing and balance organ in our bodies. And that is the system that controls our hearing and our balance. So I know how to, if somebody's dizzy, so when I say balance, I mean dizzy, off steady, that type of thing. We also do balance assessments and management for some balance disorders. Then we have tinnitus, which is the ringing in the ears. We also assess and manage that. And we have implants. So we have cochlear implants, we have middle ear implants. And so an implant will be when an individual has hearing loss that is beyond the range of a traditional hearing aid, and they actually have to have an implant. I don't do the surgery. We have the otologist will do the surgery. They'll implant it in the head, and then we take over the management of it. So it's very, very broad. It's not just hearing loss and hearing aids. It's a lot more than that.
It's so much right there. You said, I was like, do I have ringing in my ears? There's so many questions right now.
Yes.
When you said that an otologist will do the surgery for implants.
Yeah.
Is there an otologist on island?
There is not.
Okay. All
There
right.
is not.
It just shows how needed really this industry is in Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
So from when you started to now, how have you seen your, I guess, patient list grow, your demand grow?
It has grown. So as I mentioned, when I started, I was literally in 2 rooms in Rankin's Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to a little bit bigger space and a little bit bigger space. And now we're in a list of towers. We're on the 3rd floor of a list of towers. So upstairs where the baby shop is. And my space is about 3 times it was when I first started. The demand has increased. I never thought that we would be booked 5 days a week. I always was like, okay, I'll be like 2-3 days a week and I can enjoy life. But yeah, no. So we are booked, and we even go to Cayman Brack.
Nice. Okay.
We go over to Cayman Brack and we see patients in Cayman Brack. We've been going to Cayman Brack since 2013. But
how do you set up in Cayman Brack? Do you have an office there? Or?
So there's another, it's the Wellness Center. I'm not sure if people are familiar with the Wellness Center, but they have a satellite office in Cayman Brack. And so I share that space with them. Okay. And so, because our equipment is portable, so, we just coordinate the schedule and we pack up our equipment. We fly over on the SAB in the morning, see patients, come back in the evening. And we do that about once a month. I now have staff. Like proper staff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, my aunt with the phone on the book. I have proper staff. And so, there's another audiologist on board, and we have a patient care coordinator who kind of runs the clinic for us. But in my wildest dreams, I never thought that I would be where we are today with the demand for our services, with a full patient load, and in a facility the size that we have now.
I love it. I'm glad that these wildest dreams are happening to you right now. I love it. You absolutely deserve it, especially with everything that you were told, no, don't do this, and no support.
See, when
from the
people
Ministry
tell
of
me
Education
no,
either. That's crazy.
They get the opposite reaction when they tell me no. That's like when I'm in traffic and somebody blows the horn. I'm not going to go any faster.
Oh, please go faster if you're in front of me. Please, or just park. I can't. Why are you on the road if you can't drive? This is how I feel, but that's, that's totally different tangent.
So when somebody tells me no, I'm like, oh, really? I'll show you. So that's just fuel for my...
But I think more than anything, you showed yourself. You showed yourself what was possible, and you really did show everybody else in the sense of this is needed.
Yeah.
And... I mean, look at you now.
It's been 18 years. So if audiology was not needed, if there are no hearing impaired people on the island, please tell me, how am I still open 18 years later?
Trust me, I know some people that need to visit you. So there definitely are hearing impaired people. And sometimes I wonder with myself, because, I'm one of those people that love to, I will forever be blasting the music, even in the headphones. I will forever be blasting the music. I know this is a bad thing.
It's a very bad thing, but okay.
Yes, but I like to hear the music. I like to feel it.
So for your purpose and for the listening audience, if you are going to listen to music loud, there is a prescription, if you will, for noise levels. So if you're going to listen to your headphones and you want to listen to it loud, you listen to it for like 20-30 minutes, and then we take a break for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then you can listen again, and then you take a break. Right? But we don't want you listening to loud music for like hours and hours and hours. You just take a break.
Okay. I like that.
And if you have headphones on and the person next to you can hear, it's a little too loud, so you just turn it down a little bit. Just turn it to the left a little bit.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What are your most in-demand services in Cayman that you're seeing? Whether it's a trending thing that you're seeing happening with people, and with the age groups too, when it comes to children or older, because I know you said it's all ages, and in my mind I would think, okay, no, it's mostly older people or children, right?
Yeah, because we do newborns. So we do the newborn hearing test, and then I think our oldest patient just turned 100. Our oldest living patient just turned 100, and yeah, so it's all ages. But other than the typical hearing test, I can't hear coming in for hearing aids. The next probably in demand service is the tinnitus. So that's the ringing in the ears. Now, there's a lot of negative counseling out there with other providers that really don't understand the tinnitus and how it works and how it manifests. And they'll tell patients, oh, there's nothing that can be done. And the patients feel, well, despondent. Well, there's nothing I can do. I have to live with this ringing in my ears. But there is a lot that can be done. And when they end up in my office and they say, I've been to this doctor, this doctor, this doctor, they gave me this med or this med, and they tell me that I just have to live with it. And I say, well, actually, you don't. There's lots of things that we can do. And then we take them through some assessment and trying to find out exactly what's causing the tinnitus, because the tinnitus is not the disorder. The tinnitus is a symptom of something else going on. So we have to find out what else is going on. And then there's a lot of things that we do to help them manage their tinnitus.
I'm going to take a moment just to remind people to finally tell people, if you do want to call, because I always forget to do this, you can give us a WhatsApp message or call at 925-3261. Or you can call our phone lines at 949-6990 or 949-8037. There's also the toll-free number, 1-800-534-834. I don't remember that number anymore, sorry. So just go to the other ones, 949-6990, 949-8037, and WhatsApp 925-3261. So going back to the ringing in the ears, how does the ringing begin? Like, what are the causes for ringing in the ears?
So that can be anything. It could be medication. It could be illness. It could be injury.
It could be medication?
It could be medication.
Let's say you're being treated for diabetes or something. It could be medication.
It depends on the medication. So there's certain quinine, which I don't think we use as much as they did in before, but that's one of the things. Antibiotics, very heavy doses of antibiotics.
Wow.
Chemotherapy drugs will actually contribute to the ringing in the ears. Those are what we call ototoxic, so they're toxic to the ear, and they will cause ringing, hearing loss, balance disorders as well. Noise exposure, so for individuals who work in a lot of noise, DJs, musicians, construction workers, airport workers, and they're not protecting their ears, or what they're doing is they're damaging. So the ringing is because there's damage to the auditory nerve.
Okay.
So the auditory nerve has become damaged in a section because it's like erosion. So like the beach erosion that's happening. So the hearing organ is a fluid-filled organ. And so what happens, this is a little, lesson right now. When we hear the sound beats against our eardrum and it sends vibrations and it pushes the bones and it pushes the fluid around the cochlea, and that's how we hear. Now there's a section of the cochlea that's going to get get the waves first. And so it's this constant beating against the nerve, and it's going to erode our hearing nerve. And when that happens, a lot of people on top of hearing loss will get the ringing in the ears. And now our brain has associated this sound because it's basically the nerve. You're hearing the nerve working. And our brain has decided that this sound is important. It's our fight or flight system. So the brain says, oh, this is an important sound. I have to pay attention to it. And our brain has latched on to this, and that's why we hear it. So how we treat that is that we then come in with something called tinnitus retraining therapy. It's also called neuromodulation stimulation, where basically we are retraining the brain that this sound is not important, so don't pay attention to it.
So there's quite a big connection between brain health and I guess ear.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm using the right term here, so ear health.
Yes.
Very interesting. On my own, I'm reading this book, and I think it's called Good Energy. I think it's called that.
Yeah.
And it was talking about inflammation really being the root to all disease really in our body and illnesses that we have. Is that the case with any, I guess, problems that you might be having with your hearing that you might know of?
It can, because inflammation is really, things are we can look at it where nerves get swollen and they're just inflamed and they just get enlarged, or where it's just they're not functioning properly. So if the hearing nerve isn't getting an adequate blood supply, then it is going to compromise. It is going to stop working. It's going to slow down. And there can be, now I haven't seen anything in real life to say that, oh yeah, this is because of inflammation. but I can fully believe that it would be, because if we are full of inflammation and we have this manifestation of pain or illness, and our body is just fighting, basically, right? Like our body is fighting. It's going to attack every part of our body. Like there's no part of our body that's in isolation. So everything is going to get attacked, right? From our head to our toes, our eyes, our ears, everything is going to get attacked. So yeah, I'm sure that there are situations where inflammation can cause the ringing in the ears, probably more so the ringing in the ears than the hearing loss. But to say that I can definitely say to somebody, oh, it's because of inflammation, I cannot say that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
But there could be a tie there.
There could definitely be a correlation, but there's no way for me to say that, yeah, this is because of inflammation.
Gotcha. Now, we're going to go to commercial break, but before we do, I have a personal question now coming from me. Sometimes when I talk only so that I can hear myself. I don't know why. Could be covered. I'm just not talking loud enough for some people.
Yes.
And so is this is that a symptom that something could be going on with my own ears in that sense? If I'm having a conversation, you're like, what, Kathy? I'm like, well, I can hear myself. How come you can't hear me, you know?
That's not necessarily something with your hearing. I mean, you tell those people they need to come and see me at Cayman Hearing Center at the listed hours. They can call us 946-9174 and get their hearing tested, right? But sometimes if we have inflammation and we have some increased pressure in our ears because of whether it's allergies or sinus issues or illness or something else, what's happening is that you're hearing yourself loud because the sound you have some sort of, how can I say this in the layman's terms, where there's like a pressure and it's almost like your ears are plugged up. So you know when you plug up your ears, your voice sounds louder. So you're having some sort of blockage. Maybe it's your eustachian tube that's not opening, closing properly. Maybe it's some allergic, something you ate, or maybe if you have hay fever, or if you have sinus issues going on. Most likely inflammation as well.
Interesting.
That could cause it as well. We could just cause like things to shut down.
Okay, interesting. Thank you for that tip. I'm also going to blame the other people that
they
need to come and see you if they can't hear me talk. Yeah. Let's go to a commercial break.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
It's a hero celebration. Come out to Cardinal Avenue from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on National Heroes Day, Monday, January 27th for an unforgettable evening. Bring the whole family and enjoy delicious local food, take in performances from local artists, do fun activities at our Kids Corner, and don't miss the spectacular fireworks show to cap off the day. The 2025 Heroes Celebration on Monday, 27th of January on Cardinal Avenue. Celebrating our heroes, celebrating our culture.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me from Cayman Hearing Center, I have Dr. Annette Stevenson. She is the only Caymanian that we know of, doctor of audiology. We're having a great discussion. I'm learning quite a lot here when it comes to hearing. And for me, I'd like to think I'm still young. And I wouldn't necessarily, unless maybe I had a ringing in my ear or could really notice that I'm not able to hear things as well as I previously could. Is there like a normal time or a period in their life where somebody should go in and just get tested for their hearing?
Yeah, so, that's an interesting question. The one milestone that I would say is like before your child starts big school, get their hearing tested to make sure that you're setting them up for success. But as we grow up and as we get older, hearing is one thing that unless you have a problem, you're not going to come in for help. And we understand that and we realize that. As much as we would love to say to everybody, come and get your hearing tested at least once a year, we know that they're not going to come to us unless they have a problem or somebody in their life says, you need to get your hearing tested. What we do is when you do come in to see us and we test your hearing, if you have normal hearing, we'll see you every 2 years, or obviously if you notice an issue, you come in before. But if we see you and you have a hearing loss, then we want to see you every 6 or 12 months. And we do that so that we can monitor and see if there is any drastic change and that we can intervene sooner rather than later.
Okay.
But, I would love everybody to come in once a year to get their hearing tested, but I also know that they're not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like some cancer screenings, right? They suggest, hey, you hit 40, you should start this, or with women for specific things, it might be 50. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
There's a specific time?
No, there's no specific time. Individuals that work in a lot of noise, so, like our construction workers, our first responders, they they should be getting their hearing tested once a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's safety,
Yeah,
it's like a safety thing that they should be getting their hearing tested once a year. I don't think that they do, but it is something that they should be doing.
Why do you think people don't? Is it something that basic insurance would cover, regular health insurance would cover?
Most of them will cover it. We have that one policy, the SHIC policy, that doesn't cover a lot for anybody to go anywhere, actually. But the majority of the health insurance will cover your basic audiogram, your basic hearing test, your basic evaluation. Some of them do have coverage for hearing aids, but it's only like a lifetime. So it's what
do you mean by that?
So you only get one set of hearing aids for your life, is what the insurance company will pay. Now,
what's the normal? How long do a set of hearing aids last?
So hearing aids will typically last about 3 to 5 years, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is the manufacturer will only repair it for a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So when the manufacturer stops making the parts for it and we can't fix it, then there's nothing we can do. The other thing is if your hearing loss changes drastically and the hearing aids that you have can no longer accommodate your hearing loss, then you'd have to change your hearing aids. And as a child, if a baby has hearing aids as they grow through life, they're going to need to change their hearing aids as they grow up, right? So with the exception of Cineco, all of the hearing aid company, all of the health insurance companies not all of them, most of them will provide you a one-time benefit to get one set of hearing aids. And it doesn't even cover the entire cost of the hearing aid. It's just a portion of it.
Are they crazy expensive?
So they can be. And I need to, when I say that, it's the hearing aids so if you're going to get a pair of hearing aids, you can go anywhere from like $1,200 for the pair, so that's $1,200 for the pair, all the way to $7,400 for the pair. Ooh. Now, what that includes, I always have to say this, is not just the hearing aid, but you're also getting 3 years of service, 3 years of office visit, 3 years of repair, 3 years of supplies. So you purchase the hearing aids from Cayman Hearing Center, you come to Cayman Hearing Center, and you'd never have to pay for anything related to your hearing aids for 3 years.
Okay.
So it's a bundled price.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why that is, right?
And is that a choice? Because it's kind of, for me, I'd be looking at buying a car. Do I want to get a car for, $25,000, good old reliable car, I know it's going to work, it's efficient, it does its job, or do I want to pay, top price, $100,000, something like that, for a crazy car that does the same thing, but do I really need that? Is that the kind of same case with hearing aids, or?
It is the same. It is the case, So if I have, let's just say, 85-year-old patient who doesn't have just goes to church and has some family members over, I'm not going to put them in the $7,400 hearing aid. I'm going to give you the hearing aid that is going to be best for your lifestyle. Because we find out what sort of life you're living. What is your social life? Do you still work? Do you still, do you have meetings? Like, what do you do in your day? And then we'll give you the options that are going to work best for your lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That can be a hefty cost.
It can
and
be.
Not
very
everybody
hefty
can afford it. But
No.
I also understand that you're trying right now to kind of navigate that.
Yeah.
You started a nonprofit.
So we started a nonprofit. It's, we got our certificate and everything, so we're legit, and I was very excited when we got that.
Congratulations.
It's a process, I can tell you that, but, we persevered. And so it's called Hearing the Call Cayman, and the purpose of the mission of the nonprofit is to help bridge that financial gap for individuals who cannot afford to get hearing aids, whether it's they've exhausted their health insurance benefits or their health insurance does not cover hearing aids. So there is a process. They have to apply. They have to demonstrate financial need. I sort of mimicked NAU. So the NAU requirement, I sort of kind of looked at what they require for assistance, and we kind of modeled it similar to the requirement. So there's an application process, and there's a non-refundable application fee that they would have to pay. It's very nominal. It's $150. They pay that, and they get the hearing aids. They get the test. They get the hearing aids.
Wow.
And then in exchange, on top of the $150, we ask that they pay it forward. And that means I would love for them to find another organization and to volunteer 10 hours of their time to another local organization as a way of paying it forward. Of course, I'm not going to check, and this is all on the honor system, but we do really want to encourage them to, you've been the recipient of generosity of the community, and so it would look good if you were to give back. Yeah.
How is a nonprofit funded? Because you already mentioned that the hearing aids can cost anywhere from $1,200 to $7,000, right? So how is that nonprofit funded to be able to help these people that normally could not absolutely afford to get hearing aids?
So we do have some private individuals who make financial donations. We do have patients who are upgrading their hearing aids, and they will donate their hearing aids to the organization. We'll then have them refurbished and checked by the manufacturer. The hearing aid companies, now remember the hearing aid companies are in the U.S., and so like their whole tax situation, they get whatever for making donations. And so I can always reach out to the hearing aid companies and say, hey, can you please send us some devices? And they will happily send us some devices. And yeah, that's how.
That works. So it doesn't matter that you're in the Cayman Islands.
Correct.
Oh, I like that. Okay. That's a good partnership. And sorry, when did you start the nonprofit?
July last year. July or August last year, yeah.
2024.
2024, yeah.
Wow, so it hasn't been that long.
No, not that long.
Okay.
No.
How would you like to see it grow?
Yeah, I would love to see it grow. Like I have this idea in my head, like a factory. Okay. But I have this idea in my head that we're going to do like a hearing project day. And so all of our recipients for the nonprofit are going to come in, and it'll be like a conveyor belt. Like they'll come here, they'll have their ears tested. They'll come here, they'll get the hearing aids. They go here. They, like they just kind of like come and go to all the different stations. And I just envision like maybe 20, 30 people will come. And if we want to talk big picture, because like right now it's local, and I can even see this expanding regionally. To the Caribbean.
Do you know of any similar nonprofits like this?
So this is actually modeled after Hearing the Call in the U.S.
Okay.
So there is Hearing the Call, and we are a part of them.
Okay. I was going to say, because it's the same name.
It's the same name, yeah. So we got permission to use the name from them. And so it's modeled after them, and they do this in the U.S., and they actually travel to different countries. They go to India, Mexico, Guatemala. They've been to Turks and Caicos. They go to Jamaica as well and provide this service. They did a mission last year with Mr. Beast. So
wow.
Yeah. So Mr. Beast came along for a mission trip to India. So that was kind of cool.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. That's a big thing. Well, Dr. Annette Stevenson, you have really shown what you can do when you put your mind to it. and sticking to something that brings you joy, because I remember at the
Yes.
very beginning of the show we talked about how what you were first studying didn't necessarily bring you joy, and then you went into audiology.
Mhm.
So we've got maybe about a minute left. So if there's any kind of lasting words you want to leave with people, how to get in contact with you, your hours,
So-
let people know that they don't have to be a newborn and they don't have to be quite old to come to Cayman Hearing Center.
So I'm going to do something that I do, and my staff are always like, oh my gosh, she's going on the radio. I just need to be prepared for this. So if you call Cayman Hearing Center at 946-9174, or you can send a WhatsApp to 925-5836, excuse me, and tell them that you heard Dr. Stevenson on the Business Buzz with Kathy this morning, and you will get a free hearing screening.
Ooh, that's pretty amazing. A free hearing screening. I like that. Okay, so I know you guys are listening out there.
So the Cayman Hearing Center, we are open Monday to Thursday, 8:30 to 5, and Friday, 8:30 to 3. We are in Alyssa Towers on the 3rd floor. So Alyssa Towers is where the baby shop is. I know everybody knows where the baby shop is. So we're on the 3rd floor. We do have an elevator, and there are stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Our number is 946-9174. WhatsApp is 925-5836. And if you call them and tell them that you heard me on the Business Buzz with Kathy, then you will get a free hearing screening.
I love that. That's a great offer. Great offer to listeners. Thank you so much, Dr. Annette Stevenson,
Thank you
for
for
joining
having
us
me.
this morning. It was a great discussion, and I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Yes. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and thank you to all our listeners this morning.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial. Lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial.